Hi guys, welcome back to me and my outside seating area and my lunch. I'm gonna eat this before I start talking to you all, but I just thought I'd check the camera angle and the lighting and everything else. I'm very sleepy today, so if I look that way, that's why. Wasn't going to do a video this week, but I'm last minute deciding just to do a little bit of a sit down chat about my struggles with the boys at 8 months. So it's going to be maybe top 4 or 5 things that I've struggled with in the past month or two, because as you all know, I did say last week, it's been pretty hard around here. I'm still brainstorming a little bit. I've just been sitting here thinking about it, so it's hard to like put the struggles down into like areas or topics because they kind of all overlap into different things, but we'll see. We'll go through it now, but yeah, I'm gonna eat this and then get back to the video and let you all know what's been hard. Okay, I'm back. Lunch is finished. I hope I've got no food on my face or in my mouth. I swear, whenever I watch my videos back, I'm like, oh my god, I've got something stuck on my tooth. There was one video I had like a piece of egg or something that I'd eaten for breakfast just stuck on my chin, and it was there for like 20 minutes of the video. And I was watching it like, oh my god, everyone's gonna see it. I don't know if anyone ever noticed it, but I definitely did. So, yeah, before I get started, I just wanted to say a huge thank you because I got so many lovely messages last week, a few comments on the YouTube, and then a few people actually reached out over Instagram, and I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to think of me and write to me. A lot of you shared challenges you'd faced and things that helped you and ideas of things that might help me, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it actually put me in such a good mood. And like, I don't know, I was feeling very negative last week. I was just feeling like no one wants to watch me complain and moan, and I feel like I'm doing that again this week, which I'm not. I'm just trying to share things that are honest and truthful at this time right now, and really all I'm doing is being with the boys and struggling a little bit, so that's all I can talk about. And I know it will just be a phase, and then I'll be back to more uplifting content, hopefully. So yeah, thank you if you're one of the people that reached out or commented. I really appreciate it, and I haven't replied to the comments yet, but I am going to. I'm just finding a quiet time and yeah, just a bit of a better frame of mind. So let's get started on today's video. So I'm going to talk about, I think, 5 things that lately we have been struggling with the most. So number 1 is scheduling. This whole scheduling thing with twins, it's been hard since day one, I suppose, but some months have just been so much harder than others. And I think it all comes down to there's 2 babies, right? And they're not the same. They aren't made equally. They don't both need to eat at the same time. They both don't need to sleep at the same time or to be cuddled at the same time or play at the same time, but they have to be a unit for now anyway for me to live my life and be sane. So yeah, that's really shown up to be a challenge this month. I do feel like Jack needs a little more sleep than Henry, or he was just going through a week of getting less sleep and feeling more agitated, or maybe he was a bit under the weather, or he was teething. Anything like that can throw their schedule off a little bit, and they need extra rest or need extra loving, and it's hard to notice that when you're around them both all the time. I feel like even sometimes I watch my videos back and I'm noticing things about the boys that they're doing where in the moment I'm not realizing, because I'm just constantly trying to watch the both of them. So yeah, the scheduling has become really hard, especially with sleep. And on top of that, development. They are definitely developing at different rates. We've already seen that with Henry learning to crawl first, and Jack kind of being more vocal first. But again, it's like trying to get them to do the same thing all the time. Sorry, I thought I just saw a dead bird in the tree, but it isn't. Is tough, but we're getting there. Last week was definitely a little blip. This week has been so much better so far, so fingers crossed. Last week we were having like 2 or 3 wake ups through the night, and I honestly don't know how parents do it when their babies don't sleep well for months on end. Like, it does mess with you emotionally, physically, every single way. And I'm glad that was just a week. I need like the good 7 hours sleep, otherwise I just cannot function right. So yeah, scheduling has been a huge battle, and especially of late I was going back and forth like with this adjustment. I adjusted them to 2 naps, and I think I did it a little bit early. In hindsight, I wish I'd waited a couple more weeks, but because I decided to do it and I was giving it the full week for them to adjust, I didn't want to go back to giving them another nap. I thought that was just going to blow their minds even more, so I stuck to it, and fingers crossed they seem so much better this week and they've adjusted to it. But I am noticing that they're quite tired, and I cannot add in any extra naps now. We're too far down the line, so yeah, I'm just trying to put them to bed a little bit earlier, or just reduce the times that they're awake a little bit and hope that they sleep a bit longer. So that's what's going on there. Number 2. Always so much noise going on out here. I really shouldn't film out here because I'm so distracted. But number 2 is parent guilt and one-on-one time. I think I mentioned this in the 5 things that I wish I'd known about video, which I did way back, like maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago. And this is still a thing. I'm noticing even more so now that they are crawling and that they need so much more attention on them. It was kind of easy to pick up and cuddle one baby when the other one couldn't move or couldn't understand what I was doing and want the attention too. So I'm noticing that a lot more now, and it's just becoming harder and harder to attend to their needs almost. The other night I'd put Jack down early to bed on one of the nights that he was struggling last week, so I kept Henry up on his own for about 30-45 minutes, and it was mad. I came out here, we were playing ball with Hendrix, and he just sat on my lap and he was so content and just loving it, and I just felt really sad thinking this is what it would be like to have one baby. And I hate that because I love them to death, but I just wish I had moments where I could really love on just one of them, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I also had a moment where Alid had Jack and I was speaking to Mum on the phone, and it was just so much easier to have a conversation. I was like, oh my gosh. But I know it wouldn't be like that. You know, if I had one baby, they'd be different in a totally different way, and there'd be other challenges. So yeah, it's just something that comes with the territory, I guess. Hendrix, don't rip the tree up. Oh, oh my god, Hendrix, naughty. Go on then, you can have it now you've ripped it off. Seriously, it's not the biggest leaf that you have ever seen. Please don't rip the tree apart, darling, it's pretty. Is there anything else that I've written about that? I don't think so. So number 3, oh my gosh, this one. The boys have started to play off each other now. So if one cries, the other cries. If one gets angry with something, the other just seems to get angry at something. This morning I was having a little bit of a meltdown because Henry was screaming, like high-pitched screaming like they like to do occasionally, and Jack was crying in response to it because it was so loud, and me and Aled were just sat there like, we feel like crying too. So yeah, and it's those instances where I want to help Jack because he's sad and he's crying, but I feel I have to help Henry because otherwise he's going to keep doing it. Yeah, that's what we were going through. But this playing off each other thing is killer. At the moment they're even doing it when they're eating. They're trying to steal each other's food and they're just copying each other, and I know this is only going to get worse, I'm sure, but struggling with that a little bit. There's sometimes that it's good when they're crawling and they see something and they both want to go get it. At least they're both in the same sort of area for me to go grab them, and I tend to just grab the toy or the item that they're after. Like I said, they're obsessed with the dog bowls, and last week I was trying to grab each baby and I was like, why am I doing that? Why didn't I just remove the dog bowls? So now I just go and remove the water and then I don't have to worry. But yeah, the playing off each other is hard work. They're not really playing with each other yet, so the thought of just, yeah, you've got twins, you can leave and let them play with each other, it's not happening. And one of my friends back in Seattle who has twins that are 2 months older than me, she did say, no, they don't play with toys, they'll start like almost bullying each other and playing with each other, so like climbing on top of each other and hurting each other in that way. And they do keep like trying to go for the same toy, and then they like headbutt and then they start crying. Number 4. Okay, I'm going to leave that for the last because that probably is one of the biggest things that's hard right now. So number 5 is the attention and having no breaks. That kind of ties in with playing off each other because I do feel like they need attention. Yeah, I'm sitting in here because I do feel like they need attention 24/7 at the moment. I'm so sorry for the gardeners in the background. There's gardeners every time I try and video, I give up. Aled's working inside, the boys are sleeping. this is where I need to be, and we're gonna have to just deal with the lawnmower in the background, so apologies for that. But yeah, the attention and the no breaks. I was so excited for when they were crawling, because before they were crawling they were getting frustrated that they couldn't crawl, and I was like, things are gonna be so much better when they're crawling. Well, they don't just crawl, they crawl to everything they shouldn't crawl to. I mean, I was stupid not to know this, right? It was obvious. But they're crawling to everything that they shouldn't crawl to, they're crawling in opposite directions, and they know that the playpen can be open, so they don't want it to sit in there with it closed unless I sit with them, which is fine, but trying to do that all day, every waking minute, drives you a little bit mad. So at the moment my routine is so structured anyway around their feeding, their milk, their solid food, their naps, that we only have little windows in the day where I can kind of change up the pattern of the day, and I feel like this is vital for me, otherwise I'm gonna feel like a robot. I already feel a little bit like a robot. Every day is so the same, and I know that's good for them, but it's very hard for me to function like that. It's very hard to find enjoyment in that routine. So I try and change it up. I try and change when I go for a walk with them. I always go out in the morning because of the dog and the heat, but I do try and go again at some point, or I go out in the car and go for a coffee. But it's just trying to find little things where it feels like I look forward to something in the day other than just sitting playing with them, which I absolutely love, but even they get agitated with me, I feel. It's like, we had the estate agent lady come over today who's been helping us buy the house, and she sat and played with them for like half an hour while we were signing documents, and they were loving life. Yes, they had a bit of a nervous area where they were with someone new, but then they were like settled in. They were just like, this is fun, we're playing with someone new who's interacting in different ways. So they definitely need that, and I'm so excited to start going to like baby groups and stuff like that. I am just waiting for us to be in a permanent location and know where we're living, because I want to meet people, I want to make friends, and I don't want to do that and then they live an hour's drive away from me. So hopefully soon. We just did a huge transfer with our house, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we're gonna know in a day or two. So yeah, there's that. Now number 5, the biggest one, is the physical aspect of having twins. My god, never did I really think about that, like how much of a toll it was going to take on me physically. I'm not exactly the fittest person, but I'm not really unfit either, and it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. Yesterday I was sat and I said to Aled, I really want to go out with the boys because I don't want to sit playing with toys in the house, but the thought of loading up the car and loading them into the car, it makes me not want to go. And it's just so sad. Like, truly for me, this part of being a mother is one of the hardest parts to get my head around, because getting out the door is a full-on workout, I'll be honest. I'm literally sweating at the end of it. I get all the stuff out, I get the stroller out, I get the seats out, I load that into the car. I have to get the boys, I have to strap them into their car seats, I have to make sure one is safe while I'm loading one of them up, and then I have to give him a toy or a pacifier and make sure he's okay while I go and get the other boy, and then do the same thing. So I'm running in and out of the house, in and out of the car, back and forth with toys. I mean, I could just let them scream, but for my sanity, nothing is worse than the crying. So I was reading something on a website for twin parents, and someone gave an explanation of this whole getting in and out of the car thing, and it just cracked me up. I'm going to read it to you. So they said, I'm literally sweating after I get out of the car and get all of our stuff packed up, run it out to the car, come back in, pick up Harris, run out the car, buckle him in, give him a toy to play with, run back in the house, pick up Goldie, run back out, make sure Harris is okay, buckle up Goldie, give her a toy, then I run back, hop into the car, and I'm breathing hard and sweating most of the time. And that is honestly the honest description of how it is. And here we have stairs going down to the car, so I can't even like easily take the stroller in and out. And then there's also the issue of like, once we're out, I have to do that whole thing again to come back home. And at the moment it's like the stroller's in the back garden because I take them for a walk in the morning, and then I need it to be in the car in the front. It's just so much logistics of like packing and unpacking around the boys being awake. And then if I try and do all this stuff when they're asleep, it's just like I fill up my free time with errands, like minor, just necessity things. So the physical aspect of it is killer, and I never even thought about it. Like, I never even imagined that side. I think when I knew I was having twins, I just always imagined someone with me, and it's just so tiring. So I'm currently sat here thinking, what am I going to do when they wake up? I think I'm just going to go for a walk locally, because I've already been out once in the car today and I don't have the energy. I do not. So there's me whining and whinging for the day. I hope this isn't negative. I really want it to be informative. I know there's a lot of you that have young twins, and I'd love to hear your challenges and things that you've found that have been so different to what you expected. So please leave things in the comments. I think it's lovely for other people as well to see other people's struggles, or even things that have been great that you thought were going to be bad that have been amazing, because there's been a lot of those as well. For example, sleep for me. I was so worried about their sleep, and they have been amazing sleepers. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and if you've got any tips for me, I'm always welcoming those. And yeah, I hope you're all having a good day, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend. I'll be back next week. I'm going to make sure I am. We're nearly into the 8-month update with the boys, because I think they're over 8.5 months now. Probably got a week and a half left for 9 months. Time is flying. So yeah, and someone did give me some video ideas in the Instagram message, so thank you so much. I'm gonna work on doing some of those. But yeah, lots of love to you all guys, and I'll see you next week.